Boys and girls, we're live with Bruninho Barbosa. I absolutely love this guy. I love the energy, and I'm so happy to have you here, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thanks so much, Zaid. كيف حالك حبيبي؟
Alhamdulillah, man. Even that, your points are racking up high and high, man. The energy, we got the same energy. You're speaking Arabic to me, man. What a guy. Honestly, I
That's
appreciate you.
awesome, bro. Is that's the only thing I know how to say because some of my friends, some of my students, I have friends from Libya and Jordan, and
Uh-huh.
they helped me out a little bit. I was trying to learn Arabic, but man, it's really hard for a Brazilian to learn Arabic.
Brother,
But
that says a lot
yeah,
about you because, I mean, your English is flawless, man. Like, I've watched your YouTube videos.
thank
I
you.
like your accent. I like your style when you talk. It's not easy for a Brazilian guy to learn English, let alone to start trying to learn Arabic, right?
Yeah, I think I'm very easy with languages because I don't know, I just love languages. And I learned English in 4 months in Malaysia. When I came to Malaysia, I didn't know English at all. I learned it right
Wow.
here. And then I spent 1 year in Kyrgyzstan and I learned Russian in Kyrgyzstan in 1 year.
What an
But I
experience.
forgot. I forgot Russian. I don't know how to speak Russian
La-
anymore. I
la-
still like have some a little bit, you know.
man, language is a practice. It's a muscle. If you don't train it every day, it starts fading, right?
Yeah. So
And
when I came back to Malaysia, I forgot a little bit of Russian that I learned.
do you speak any Malaysian?
No, because the gym is like I live in Kuala Lumpur. It's like the capital of the country, and is the gym is like very international. We have students from everywhere,
Got you.
and like, but I have friends that like other black belts that teach outside of Kuala Lumpur, and then they have to speak mainly. They
Malaysian.
have more Malaysian speakers next
Whoa.
to them,
Whoa.
like everybody speaks Malaysian,
Right.
Bahasa Malaysian,
Mm,
but I'm not forced to speak Malaysian or to listen to because if
got you.
everybody speaks English, you know.
Got you. Interesting, man. But look, Bruno, here's the interesting thing. So, me and you, a
Yeah,
quick story for everybody listening, how I got to know you. It was before I even started the JitsGuy podcast. I was just doing my memes and doing my thing online. I was always active with Jiu Jitsu. And you followed me then. And since the first time you followed me, it wasn't like follow and then I don't hear from this follower. It was follow, hey brother, how are you? Nice. I like this. Hi. I'm like, man, this guy's got a good energy to him. I didn't know anything about you. I was just like, I like this guy. And we started chatting and getting to
yeah,
know each other on Instagram. It had nothing, no strings attached. It was just two friends in Jiu
yeah.
Jitsu talking. That's what I love about you.
Yeah, man, thank you so much. It's like I like to make friends, and I like when they see the energy back because I really believe that sometimes I don't know. I don't like to look like cheesy or corny for people like to say because there's a lot of things that we say but randomly, you know, and I don't like to leave anything in the air.
I like
And
that.
I really like that like the we can impact someone else's life, you know, like we maybe with a word, with a simple word, you can change someone's day.
Huge.
And then I really believe on that when we talk, like man, like, it's like you are like the kind of person that I want to be next to. I want
Yes.
to spend hours talking. You know, like I want to like I don't know,
Yeah.
just hang out, laugh together. You know, I don't know.
I totally understand that. And you know, Bruno, they say if you want to teach people how to talk to you, then you got to talk to them that way, right? The best way to
Yeah,
show people how to give you respect is to give them respect first. And when you put that effort for me and you sent that message and hi, how are you and everything, it made me want to check on you, or it made me want to say hi, how are you
yeah.
back to you.
Thank you. Because also when I was learning English, like in school back in Brazil,
Hmm.
we like the English class. We know like even though we have English classes in the school in Brazil, we don't like nobody leave the school speaking English.
Ah, yeah.
We know the like verb to be for 5 years and that's it.
Okay.
And but I was always in love with English. And then I learned, hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. What about how are you? So
Right.
I always answer to. I learned how to like when people say how are you to me, I have to say answer how I'm
You
feeling, how
practice
I
it.
am, and then I have to ask them how they feel back.
Nice.
But in reality, that doesn't work that way.
Hmm.
Many times I come to people like, hey, how are you? Fine,
And they don't respond,
and I
right?
was like, no, at all. They just say fine,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I'm good. I was like, yeah, but now is your time to say. how I am, and that doesn't work.
This
So I
English
was getting
textbook is
frustrated.
broken.
Like, what's going on right here? Like, why when I say how are you to people, they don't say how are
I
you back
love
to
it.
me?
I love, but you know what?
Yeah,
They're missing out because clearly you learned the language a lot faster than most because you took that extra effort to repeat and reciprocate the language, and that says a lot about you,
yeah.
Bruno. Listen, man.
Thank you.
Before coming onto this podcast, I feel like I have Michael Jackson with me because
Oh my
uh,
God.
I have. Okay, we do interviews, and this is the beauty. We have a beautiful community within our
Hmm.
micro community. So you're in Malaysia, you're in Monarchy MMA,
Yeah.
you have your community, and they're supporting you because of the impact you leave on them. And then you have different guys I'm meeting. But what ends up happening slowly is we leave a cookie trail as we train jiu-jitsu. You train in Brazil,
Yeah.
you part of a competition here, you went and you trained in the US for something, EBI here, that there.
Hmm.
And the cookie trail starts showing in situations like this. And it makes me so happy because I'm trying to shine a light on you guys. Before coming live with you, yesterday to today, the amount of comments and messages that were like, Bruno, I love you, Bruno, Bruno making waves and all of this good stuff, man, it made me so happy for you and it made me
My
really
students
proud.
are amazing, bro. You have no idea. My students are amazing. They
Unbelievable.
support me from the day I got here to today.
It says a lot
They
about your
they
students.
and then sometimes I just ask them like, you guys can you do that for me? Poof.
Man.
They're like, and it's like, okay, okay, okay.
you
Like
can't you
they
can't
make
contain it.
no, because they are really good in helping people. They are really good people. All of them, they
Yeah.
support me a lot.
Yeah.
Like if I'm training for competition, if I'm focused on something else, they sometimes they check on me. How's your son? How's your family? Is everything okay? Do you need
Right.
anything? Like, no, I'm okay. They're always checking on me. Man, I'm not alone. Like really,
Right.
they're
Right.
really good people.
I
They're really
love to hear that,
good.
man. And it's interesting because you're speaking a lot about also the Malaysian culture, and I have my own experience with the Malaysian culture too. They're a very warm, considerate culture.
Yeah.
I used to be a custom motorcycle builder, and
Mm-hmm.
one of my best customers was a motorcycle club called Independent MC, and they're a Malaysian motorcycle club.
Okay.
Man, they used to just come keep me company. They used to come by the
Yeah.
shop, hang out, talk, keep me company, joke, and they have their la jokes, so everything ends with a la
Yeah,
and all of it.
always, always.
And I
Man, I'm
loved
still
it.
not good at it. Every time I say something with loud, they say, "Hey, professor, you're not saying the
You
right
didn't
way."
get the right timing. It's all about timing with
Uh,
them. But man,
yeah,
they're really wonderful people, and I think the Brazilian culture blends well with the Malaysian culture because you guys are all
perfect,
family oriented.
perfect, perfect, perfect. Sometimes we say that we miss the Brazilian way, but we kind of feel that we have a bit of it here in Malaysia because people are very welcome. They
Right.
welcome you like wherever you go. They make you come on, like it's pretty much like the in the culture that I grew up on,
True.
like everybody open the door to their house, come eat, 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 please, please, eat,
I
eat.
love
Man,
it.
you go to my mom's, if you go to my mom's house,
Yeah.
she will cook and then she will put the food in the plate for you, and then you eat, and she say, okay, eat more. If you
Yeah.
say no, she will like, oh, you don't like my food. Like, no, it's not that I don't like my food. I cannot eat them. No, no, no. Okay, so you have to eat.
You got to
I think
clean the
it's the
plate,
same,
man.
and again and again, like
I love it, man.
it's really good. It's really good.
A big shout out to the Malaysian population, man, and
Yeah,
all of
bro.
your
Malaysia
teammates.
boleh.
Hey, there you go. There
Thank
you
you.
go, man. I love it. Honestly, it's beautiful because jiu-jitsu transcends cultures and borders and races and boundaries. And the more jiu-jitsu reaches the world, the more we connect. And we need platforms like this and to talk to people like you. So that
Definitely.
you're an ambassador, whether you see it or not. As a jiu-jitsu Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt that travels to Malaysia, you're an ambassador, not just to Brazil, but to the entire world to tell us what is Malaysia. Should we come there? Should we train there?
Yes,
And I
yes.
want to talk about
Yeah.
that a lot today. But also, Bruno, you have so much love from the Brazilian community that sent me messages. Um, the person who told me you have to talk to Bruno. It's not even an option. It was Amadou George. So Amadou was on my podcast on the fourth episode, and
Yeah, watch it. Watch it.
so when I was talking, he's like, "You got to talk to this guy. He's a very energetic person, beautiful personality, and he would really bring value to everybody." And that's when I started really researching him. Like,
Thank
damn, man,
you.
cool. Um, I got a message today morning from Wendell Ribeiro. So he's gonna be on this
Oh,
podcast.
professor.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Professor Wendell, man, I met him by pure luck. I went to train in the arena we have here for Jiu Jitsu Federation, and I see this like wise looking tough guy coaching the
Yes.
classes. And I connected with him on a level because I felt this guy's jiu-jitsu is not wide, it's deep like an ocean, man. This guy's got some experience. So I trained with him and all, and I respect him. Like his opinion to me, if he says guard is useless, I'm like, okay, guard's useless. I will not argue with him, you know? So he sent me a picture this morning of him and you at Copa Kids event in Brazil. And it warmed my heart, man, to see the connection. That's why I say it's an ambassadorship. Wendell is an ambassador here. You are an ambassador in Malaysia. You guys come from the same roots, and you were part of something very impactful to the future of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that picture. So just to explain to everybody listening, it's a picture of Wendell Ribeiro holding a microphone, organizing an event called Copa Kids. And then you see Bruno, a younger version of Bruno wearing glasses, reaching out from the audience and receiving a box that was like a gift guitar.
Yeah, it's a guitar, yeah.
Can you give us some context?
It's like a toy. So in Brazil, I used to teach kids for free in a social project. Oh. So I had like a group of 30 kids, and where there was a gym, what I was working on, I used to teach in this gym, like the morning classes 3 times a week. And then there was a project called Rio 2016, was from the government. So there was, and then the gym opened a space for me to have those kids in. So I was teaching those kids 2 times a day. I think it was like 30 kids in total.
Is this for free?
It was free.
Unbelievable.
From 5 to 16 years old. So it was crazy because it was like 1 hour. Mm-hmm. It was I don't remember exactly, but I think it was 1 hour. And there was no separation of kids, like it was like from 5 to 16 years old. It was open. They say, okay, you have 1 hour to teach those kids. And then they started to bring kids from everywhere. And then I was like, oh, okay. So because we had like some older kids, they helped me like to take care of the younger kids. Nice. So I was teaching them, and then just like the group started to help me out a lot. So I was not alone. And so those kids were growing up, improving. And then we went to a tournament and started to compete. So we went to a tournament nearby in Petropolis, where most of the black belts from in UAE are from Petropolis.
That's right.
It's a beautiful city, like tough, very good jiu-jitsu. Shout out for Petropolis people. And then we came back, and then we got a letter from this Copa Kids event.
Okay.
So I took some of my kids, and we won. There was this. There was I don't know how to explain, but they say, okay, you have to vote on Facebook.
Okay.
To see who had the bigger crowd. Nice. The supporters. We won, so we had a trophy. We have a trophy of because we won. Like we have the most supporter on social media.
Wow, that's
because
beautiful.
We were sharing with all the kids, we asking people to go there, please do that, and all the kids went insane.
Oh my goodness!
So that day we won that prize. But then there was something else going on. Like when we arrived at the tournament, there was this number. It's like a raffle, raffle, I think it says. And then I won. They just they throw the number, and then the number was mine. It was a toy guitar, you can see in that picture. And then Professor Wendell came and he gave me the guitar, and I was like, everybody was making fun of me, so of course I gave to one of those kids,
Oh man.
And then he messaged me today. He's like, hey, I still remember you from the Copa Kids. It's like, yeah. And then I just went to the Facebook, and then I saw that tournament again. It was one of the best kids tournament I've ever seen. I never seen so much kids in one tournament. I never seen so many kids. And then he was always giving away toys.
Yeah.
Like some gifts to people. Man, that was beautiful.
That's the incredible thing, and I can't wait to talk to Wendell about this as well. But like, man, the impact you guys had on kids. Everybody talks about the impact you're having in outside of Brazil, like the UAE Jiu-Jitsu Federation on the Emirati kids, Malaysia on Malaysian kids and foreigners. But man, Brazil wouldn't be the country we know it today in terms of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu had it not been for guys like Wendell and you that took time. You're not getting paid. You're teaching kids for free because there's kids that cannot pay for jiu-jitsu classes, cannot even afford these.
No, not at all.
And when we look at jiu-jitsu,
we had kids without training, without the gi for like close to like maybe almost over a year.
Wow, man.
They're just like in shorts and t-shirts,
That gives
and
you
training.
perspective, right? Like we're training in the UAE, at least I can speak for myself. I train jiu-jitsu as a luxury. I train it as something I fell in love with, and it's like an added value to my life. But in Brazil, it's what they get, you know, and it's their way
Yeah.
to get out of their life situation. A lot of these kids.
But then I have like something sad to say about the sad side of it is that my life wasn't great in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I was married, and like I had to pay rent for my house, so I was not making enough money in the gym.
Okay.
So this social project was like I was really giving my heart for the kids. But then eventually I got this offer to come to Malaysia to teach. That was in the end of 2012. So, and then someone came to me to say that the project finished. So there will be no more kids class in the gym.
Tell me something. Who was
So I
running
had to
this
stop
project?
teaching.
Like, who was running this project while you were in?
It was by the government,
Okay.
right, to promote the Olympics.
Okay.
Then we found out that there was a lot of things going bad. So there was a lot of money going in, but not enough money reaching out the coaches.
Oh.
Like, so I was actually getting paid, but not that much.
Mm-hmm.
But then so from Petropolis to Rio is like 40 minutes, 1 hour. So I went to visit my friend 1 hour away from me. So he was getting paid 1,000 real.
Okay.
And I was getting paid 400.
Wow. So 1,000 reais, which is basically $250, and then 400 is $100.
Yes. And then I was like, and they had uniform, they had gi, they had a lot of things, and I had just for 400 real a month.
Wow.
And that was not even covering my bus ticket, like my bus trip every day going to the gym. And man, I went through like tough time. But then when the government said there will be no more classes, we had to close this phase, like tell the kids to find something else to do. That broke my heart.
Man.
And then at the same time, I got this invitation to come to Malaysia to teach.
I see.
So
it was bittersweet.
I think but like it was one of the worst moments of my life because I had to get all the kids together and tell them that there's no more project. I won't be able to teach you guys anymore. And I'm leaving the country. Man, I think like everybody started to cry. I was crying, and then I was like, I don't know what to do.
Of course.
Should I stay? Should I go? Or what can I do?
And how long?
I had nothing.
Bruno, how long were you teaching them at that point? Like how many years?
2 years.
2 years, man.
2 years. 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. It was in 2010, and then I left in the end of 2012.
Crazy.
So, but then when I came to Malaysia after some time, I found out that some of the kids that used to train with me, they ended up in jail.
Oh, I see.
Some of them became like drug dealers.
I see.
Other guys, alcoholic.
Sure.
And sometimes I blame myself for that because, man, if I was there, that wouldn't happen. Because this is what I really feel like.
Yeah.
Mom, this guy just went to jail because I wasn't there to tell him not to do. Not because I wasn't there to tell him that was wrong. When I was there, he was fine.
Right.
Training with me every day, helping me. And then his mom asking me like, please help me. But I'm sorry, I can't. I'm on the other side of the world and I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the sad part, like because I get attached to people really fast.
I see, but that's not just attachment, man. This is a mission that you were a part of that was beautiful and very important. But Bruno, just to relieve some of that weight that you seem to carry on your shoulder with this, is that sometimes in life there are things we can control and things we cannot. When you were given the control, you did everything within your power, man. You worked 3 years for $100 just to teach these kids and make them. Those 3 years, man, believe me, there are some of these kids, yes, some of them ended up in jail, some of them became drug dealers, but some of them didn't. Right, and those 3 years you spent with them were the reason for that too. So there's also light.
I have like five of them. 5 of them are brown belt now.
I love it.
They still train. Yeah, nice. It's beautiful, beautiful. I went to Brazil last year. Man, one of them four of them are way taller than me.
Oh shit!
And then so they were still purple. And 2 of them brown. And I was like, oh my God, like, man, I used to slap you in the head. Now I don't dare to do that, you know.
How time changes.
Oh, wow, man. I don't play with them anymore.
Unbelievable story, Bruno, man. I'm so happy we're doing this. I'm so happy we're talking. Listen, before we get into Malaysia and all of that good stuff, because you have such a colorful career in jiu-jitsu. It's beautiful. But I need to understand like where it all began to you. You say you come from difficult beginnings and difficult times. When did you start jiu-jitsu?
I started jiu-jitsu in 1999, October 27.
Wow. I like that you know the exact date. And how old were you?
I was 16. I just turned 16 because it was, I asked my mom as a birthday gift. It's like, because I went to visit and then I like it because my dream was to receive a medal in the competition, you know, like, because I love the national, I'm very patriotic. I love the Brazilian national anthem. And then the mom's like football, World Cup, Olympics, when I see a Brazilian athlete on the podium, doesn't matter which place, receiving a medal, man, I'm like, I want to be there one day. I want to be part of this one day.
Amazing.
Because my father was he used to be a goalkeeper. So, and then I tried to play football, you know, but I was so good that they kicked me out. They say, no, you don't need to. It's not for you, son.
He was a goalkeeper in a national team or a local club?
No, local team.
Okay.
But like, my father was a goalkeeper and my mom used to run.
Wow.
She was a runner. Yeah, so she had the trophies and medals. And then my father also had some medals at home.
So this is in your bloodline.
I wanted to be like my father. I want to go to football as well. So I had the gloves and all the uniform. I want to be a goalkeeper. So I went to some football schools every Saturday to become a goalkeeper. I can say that I played every position, you know, but that football wasn't for me. And then I tried a couple of the sports like Aikido, Capoeira, and I did some Kung Fu also when I was a kid. But then I took like a time off because every time I was trying something, the professor seems to like stop teaching and just disappear. So, and then one kid, so because I grew up in a favela in Brazil, in Petropolis. So it was not that a big favela like the ones in Rio de Janeiro. So that was when I was always like in the street doing nothing. And one of the kids came up and say, I slapped the kid in the head. And he said, oh, okay, come to my gym and then I will show you something. I want to see you doing that inside my gym. I was like, yeah, I can go. So then I went to this gym and so if I saw everybody wearing gi, you know, like, and then I was afraid of jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu was not nice back then.
Yeah, it had a reputation.
It was horrible. It was always in the news. So then this guy, and then they just gave me a gi. The professor gave me a gi, and then I did the whole class, and then of course I got smashed from this kid that I was slapping in the head.
What did he do to you?
Yeah, but nothing. Just because he was smaller than me, the bigger guys were doing that to me.
Oh,
you know? So I had to do it to someone else.
Nice.
Shame on me though. So but then I didn't feel that like I don't. Of course, like things went bad for me that time, but I didn't feel like, oh, I got smashed, oh, it got crushed, like all the people like to say. I just said, no, I love it. I want to do more. I want again.
I need to figure this out.
But then I had to pay. Because they say, oh, there's a tournament, and I saw a lot of medals, a lot of trophies. Like, oh, okay, I want to have some. Now I found the sport that can get me on the podium as I've been dreaming for so long.
Wow.
But then I had to come to my mom and say, Mom, I found what I want to do, you know, like, and she said, okay. I told her, can you give me this as a birthday gift? Because my birthday was like pretty close. And she said, okay, I will think about it. Okay, and then my birthday came and blah. So, and then she said, okay, let's go to here's the money, you go pay the gym.
Okay.
And then, but we didn't have much money, you know, so my mom gave me, like, she didn't tell my father. So she gave me the money. I paid the membership and the first month, but then we didn't have money to buy gi. So the professor he gave me the gi. He said, okay, today you're gonna wear this one.
Wow.
And I didn't care. Just put that gi on and I train. So next time I come, different gi, different belt. So I don't have white belt. I don't have my white belt because every day I was wearing a different one.
You're wearing what's available to you.
Whatever. Yeah, that was this gi. Okay, today you want to wear this gi. Hey, today you want to wear this gi. because the gym was very humble also, and that professor was like really, really humble but tough on
Was he
all
a
of
black
us.
belt?
Yes, black belt, and then he always comes like he's from father lineage, and he used to tell us, "Jiu-jitsu is not for you. Jiu-jitsu is for rich people. You know, if you want to do this, you have to do really hard. You have to train really hard. I'm not here to play with you guys."
Wow.
He was never nice to us, you know. And I was 16, and I was like, "Yeah, I love it." And so I remember that I went to a tournament and I did like this. I was champion. I did like this, and he just like,
Porra.
"Oh, is that your job, bro?" And then I was like, "Wow, man."
What are you doing,
And I
playboy?
was yeah, and then I was already blue belt, you know. I thought I had like, okay, so he's my friend now, you know, like.
I like it.
No, but then yeah, that's how I started jiu-jitsu, and then I compete 2 weeks after I started.
Whoa. He put you in the deep water
Yeah.
quick. And how'd you do?
I asked bad,
Oh, okay,
but
good.
I realized my dream. I achieved my goal because there was only two person like me and another guy, and I got tapped out. I remember it was like a takedown, me on belly armbar. That's how I lost fast,
Okay.
but I was on the podium.
Oh, I love it, man. What a podium victory.
Boom, 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 boom. So I got a second place. Man, that medal I carried everywhere I was going.
Wow.
Oh, let's go to your grandma on Sunday. Okay, let me take my medal with me. Show my
Churrasco
grandma.
time. Let's go.
Churrasco. Bro, I have to show to everybody because my dream was to receive a medal in the podium.
Oh my
I
God.
started jiu-jitsu, and after 2 weeks, that happened to me. Oh, okay, I want to do this forever.
Did anybody ask you in the churrasco how you got the medal, or everybody was just happy?
Nah, if everybody was just making fun of me,
I love
like,
it.
oh, so you can't beat people now. And I was like, yeah, I do jiu-jitsu. But then I told my mom, I used to tell my mom that it was judo. I didn't say that was jiu-jitsu
Ah, I
because
see.
I was afraid she wouldn't let me do. But then in the medal came jiu-jitsu, you know.
Wow.
But my mom is quite humble also, you know. Like she until now she doesn't know how to read jiu-jitsu.
Right, right.
So
But
I showed them.
Bruno, sorry to interrupt you, but you know what's interesting to me is, just as my insight, your father is a sportsman, goalkeeper, your mother, a sportswoman, runner. They have to have discipline. Regardless of which beginnings they come from, they experience something very few people experience, which is a high-level sportsman, and that they understand this. When they see you commit and compete and proud of a medal, that translates from jiu-jitsu to running to goalkeeping. And that's where like that jiu-jitsu stigma will go away. And it's so beautiful, man. What a unique story to share with us.
Yeah, it was really nice. But then, as I told you, it took a month for me to tell my mom that I was doing jiu-jitsu because I started to get some T-shirts written jiu-jitsu, and she said, "What you say you're doing? Like judo?" She's like, "Yeah, but here there are more letters than in judo. You know,
That
there's
don't
more
look
than
like
four
judo.
letters. You know, that doesn't look like judo. You know." And then I know, mom, it's jiu-jitsu. You know.
Nice.
But then after some time, my parents divorced, and my father lost his job, so I couldn't pay anymore. I couldn't afford the gym anymore.
Okay.
So the professor told me to clean the gym, and then you can train for free.
Wow.
And then, yeah, that's why I kept going.
Are you still in touch with that professor?
Yeah. Lately we got it. Finally, he got a WhatsApp, and then we've been talking to each other. So I took because I trained with him and from white to purple.
Wow.
Man, it was like some of the best time of my life. And then I keep on talking to my wife about him, you know, like how tough he was. Man, when I finally got like I think we didn't talk for almost 7 years.
Wow.
And even when I was going to Brazil, I couldn't find him.
Sure.
Because he also got like in trouble in his life, you know, like.
Okay.
But then I managed to get back in touch with him. He didn't change a single bit.
Wow.
I got a friend got me his WhatsApp, so I sent him an audio like, "Master, how are you?" I never called him Master before; it was always Professor.
Right.
He's like, "Hey, Master, how are you? How's everything? I finally found you." He's like, "What the hell you think you're doing? Why you don't come back here and work?" Like, it's like, "I'm working right here." "Yeah, but life is not easy, you know. Like, life is not a joke. Stop
didn't
playing
skip a
around.
beat.
No. You know, you have a son. You have to grow up. Stop playing. It's like, hi. I'm happy to see you again. Can you say something nice to me? You know, like, but no, he's still
That's the old school, man. That's
stuck,
how.
bro. Yeah, yeah. And I miss that.
Right. And then after your purple belt, at that point, what did you feel like jiu-jitsu was your thing, your future, or?
No, yet. So after I got purple belt, and then the reality kicked in. I had to find a job. I think I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I think around 19, 20 years old. So, and then I had to look for a real job. So I started to work in a supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was working from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., 10 p.m. I don't remember. So my gym only has class at like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. So I couldn't train anymore.
I see.
And then we tried to find a way for me to train. So we started a morning class with a group of people that could come to just roll.
Okay.
But then none of them commit because they have their life also. Some of them work at 7. So all the higher belts, back then.
Right.
And then I unfortunately, I have to say to him that I had to leave.
Wow.
But then he suggested me to go to the team where I'm training into. I'm with until today, like with Team Buddha Jiu-Jitsu, under Professor Adalberto. Yeah, under other Professor Adalberto Souza. His nickname is Buddha. And then back then it was like the best team of my city, but also full of rich people.
I see.
And then like you come from an underground gym,
right?
Where like only poor people train. We have the way we joke, we have the way we talk, and then you go to a place where like policemen, lawyers, judges, professors.
How did that make you feel?
Like, horrible, because I had no. There was no conversation. I had no. We didn't talk.
Nothing in common. You felt, right?
Nothing. But then I found someone there. There was a brown belt who came from the same background as I came.
Okay.
But he was already there like for so long, and then he came to me when I was like, he feel that I was not happy, and then he came to me and say, "Hey, like I know they are different people than us, but you can learn from them. Absolutely. They are good people also." Because sometimes, like poor people, sometimes they grew up, they learn to hate rich people. Yeah. It's like, I am poor because of this guy is rich.
Right.
I hate him. He has money. I hate him already. I don't care. I don't know his name, but I hate him because he's rich.
Right.
So I grew up with that mentality, but I was not crazy, of course.
Yeah.
I was always very respectful to everybody, and they embraced me in such a way that I was, wow.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go to the gym. There was always a ride. No, we take you in my nice car, and then they take me to the gym. Yeah, and then
the magic of jiu-jitsu started.
Yeah, they sponsor me, like I didn't pay gym. I didn't have to pay for the gym anymore because they saw that I really want to compete. So I was training really hard. And even like we're still working, I was trying to train as much as I could. And then someone said, okay, I pay for his training. And then someone come, okay, hey, that is like, if you go, after you finish here, that is a whey protein shake paid for you. Just go to the cafeteria.
That makes me so happy, bro.
Yeah, and then things started working for me like that, like everybody saw that I was working really hard. It's like, man, I want to help this guy. I want to help this guy. Right. And then I learned that if you really work hard, things will happen to you.
Yes, that's very true, man. And it's infectious because people like to see hard workers. They like to see somebody in the grind. Bruno, there's two kinds of people. There's the kind of people that work hard without the reward yet. And there's others that need to wait to see somebody work hard and what he gets in order for them to be motivated enough to start.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes those people, it's not a bad thing necessarily. They're cautious. They like to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
But those kind of people that have the good in their hearts also support the people that's doing the grind because they know that they're paving the way. And you, Bruno, paved the way for so many. Rich, poor, Brazilian, jiu-jitsu, it doesn't matter. You paved the way by showing how dedication to one thing and having this good energy about you. Look how far it got you in life, man. It's beautiful to see.
It's true. Yeah, I'm very proud of those moments. I'm very happy for having those people.
Yeah.
That I learned to hate, but I learned from them, and then I learned to love them, and they love me back.
Beautiful.
And so there's no way this can go wrong, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the power of jiu-jitsu, because you come into the mats. Like, I think I've said this before, even with Amadou, the white belt is the humility belt, because you
Yeah.
come in with all of your life's prejudice, right? Who you like, who you don't like, what you think, what you don't think, and your perspectives of what power is, right? And you get humbled. Not just in
Yeah.
strength, you get humbled in realizing that nothing, my color, my financial background, my ethnicity, my religion means shit, right?
Yes.
And there's
Yes.
something about human nature needs that kind of crushing of humility in order to become good and to platform.
Exactly. That's how jiu-jitsu is so amazing, that this
Unreal.
has the power to do that to people.
Yes, it's a mechanism. Sure, there's other mechanisms, maybe other sports, other martial arts, but I can't name many that have the same power jiu-jitsu has, because of we remove the punches, we remove the kicks, because we have like the system of the belt system and the way we progress, right? It's almost designed by coincidence. Nobody planned this. Elio Gracie and the
No.
Gracie family did not plan this. They planned on a tough martial art to defend yourself on the street. And somehow it turned into this life-changing martial art that we love today, right?
Yeah. The real jiu-jitsu changed life, you know, like.
That's the secret to it. So tell me something. Before we get into a lot of the more present things, I want to get into some technical parts of your jiu-jitsu growing up. What kind of difficulties did you face in jiu-jitsu? Like, what was your first wall? Was it guard, closed guard, open guard? Like, what was something you remember?
I was very, very small. So I was a 16-year-old guy.
Okay.
I don't remember how tall I was, but I was 43 kilograms when I started jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
I was 43 kilograms. So there was no strength.
Okay, good.
But I was very, very flexible. So, and I remember like a lot of like neck injuries because I was getting crushed many times.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care much when I was getting tapped out.
Okay.
Right. But I was just going to train, do as much as I could to learn. But then someone came to me and showed me, okay, I think you are very flexible, so maybe this would be good for you. So someone came to me and showed me, I don't know exactly the order of it, but I think it was De La Riva. And then I became okay on De La Riva.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we improved to Spider Guard.
Nice. Okay.
And then I was playing like this, but I always had problem passing guard. Mm-hmm. Because I focused so much on guard playing, right. And then I didn't have the power, the strength a little, because you know that we say, oh, jiu-jitsu, there is no strength, blah blah blah. It's not true. We know it's not true. So I couldn't pass guard properly, right. But so I was always flying around. So I rather to keep my butt on the floor and just play guard. You know?
Use your legs to control them and push them and diagonal.
Use my legs to control them. Yeah. So small guy jiu-jitsu, you know, and I learned that way. So right now I'm currently I'm 67 kg.
Nice.
But I learned from like a very tough way. I was 43 when I started.
Yeah, and you were training with adults.
Some of my students. Yeah, and I used to tell I tell some of the girls here, it's like, hey, you know, you are heavier than I was when I started jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So you can go through this, because sometimes when they complain that they get smashed and it's so hard, I've been there, you know, like.
Amazing, and that couldn't be more true, because I like what you said about this whole strength thing. So many people, when they first start jiu-jitsu, they're enamored by this. Strength doesn't matter. A girl can kick a guy's ass. And like they get into this whole thing. It's true to an extent. If that guy doesn't know any jiu-jitsu, girl will kick his ass. Doesn't matter the weight or the strength. But once you get two people the same level of jiu-jitsu, that's where strength starts playing a factor.
Yes.
Strength and weight.
It's going to be, you can see the world championship. Like, it's very hard to see. It's rare to see at the black belt adult level.
Yeah.
A lightweight making to the podium.
Man, did you see
of absolute?
Did you see Mikey Musumeci against that guy?
Oh, that was insane. That was insane.
I believe his name was Safe. Black belt, 160 kilograms versus Mikey Musumeci with, I think, is your weight, bantamweight, right?
Yeah, no. He was roosterweight. He fought roosterweight, so he's 57, I think. Yeah.
That's insane. Okay, but even in that fight, it's impressive how he controlled, but he didn't submit him. He didn't smash him by any means. It just proves.
I think you can survive. You can survive.
Yes, and that's the important one.
Yeah, I can't prevent myself from get like maybe punched in the face
Right.
or whatever. But like if you got someone at the same level as you, things are gonna be hard.
Yeah.
You know, like you see, it's not easy to a light guy make to the absolute. You see, like yeah, a lot of the light guys they don't sign for the absolute anymore because they know it's really hard to they are doubt. But now we have Mike Musumeci trying to prove that they can make. But it's rare, as I said.
Yes.
We had Paulo Miao when he was like one of the lightest brown belt to win an absolute when he beat Keenan Cornelius as a brown belt, and now we have Mike Musumeci. But you see, like it's very far apart. You know, like when some small guy come to the adult level and make to the podium in the absolute.
But I like what you said there, man, because the thing is with jiu-jitsu as a martial art, a lot of people think its goal is to win by submission or tap out your opponent. But I believe we need to go a little bit of a step back. This is the competition mindset. This is the ego mindset. Number one is to stay alive. We learned this martial art not to compete, not to get points, okay? As much as you learned this martial art because you were excited to represent your country, you recognize it as a martial art.
Yeah, definitely.
Our number one objective is not to get our ass kicked, to reduce the ass kicking. This is the number one objective.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, so that's very possible regardless of strength. Very possible regardless of strength. But to beat and abuse and tap out a strong guy that's your level, now it's a different story. Now we're talking about...
Totally different story. Yeah. I've been training with heavy people my whole life pretty much.
Yeah.
And when I changed team, when I changed team, I was the lightest guy in Team Buddha. No, that was me and another guy.
Okay.
This guy was lighter than me, so I was the second lightest.
God bless him.
There was nowhere to. There was nowhere to go. We were the lightest guy. We're gonna get crushed every day. And then I remember there was no crying of it. Oh, I'm so light. That's why you beat me up. No, it's all part of the game.
Yes.
And what Gracie did, we can do.
Unbelievable.
Bro, that's it. Just man, the examples are next to you. You just have to follow. But again, when you talk about beat up badly someone way heavier than you, way stronger than you, that's another story. You mentioned about the point system, the points for self-defense. Really, I love the point system. Why? The point system will keep you safe.
Okay.
If you learn the point system properly, you will keep you safe. Because look, would you let someone mount you? Because you know it's 4 points.
Right.
But in the street, there's no point. So add 4 punches if someone mounts you.
Wow.
So of course you won't let people mount you. It's not about the 4 points. It's because that position is really bad to get
risk.
Caught.
It's heavier risk.
Yeah. Come on, you're gonna have someone on top of you. Okay, in the competition, I think you should teach that way. Because sometimes people don't like, as in the jiu-jitsu school, we have a competition. People play. Oh, you play for points. No, I play to be safe. I play to be alive.
Very true.
Like nobody mount me. Nobody take my back.
Very
of course, they're gonna choke my face.
Yes.
Right. If I let people go to my back, it's not about the 4 points. It's about how bad it's gonna be if someone get now. Okay, get a jiu-jitsu match or jiu-jitsu bad position and replicate in the street scenario.
Yes.
If you let someone score 10 points on you, that means we're getting beat up really bad in the street.
That's
if that was
true.
in the street.
That's very true.
Yeah, so we just keep yourself safe. Don't let people mount you and stuff like that.
If I might add, Bruno, to what you're saying, just to balance out this point that you're making, the only negative side I see from competition mindset is not so much the points. It rushes your jiu-jitsu because competitions don't like stalling. They like people to always be busy. And sometimes you could be in an average position, but be in a good place. When you risk going from that average position to mount, you might end up losing everything. And on the street, when the guy is freaking out and wanting to smash you, not just in a competition, giving up side control to try to go for mount, and then the guy catching your leg and sweeping you.
No, you can't. You can't. Yeah, then in the competition, if the competition rule set is designed to keep you busy, entertaining the crowd.
Entertainment, it's a sport, yes.
Yeah. As a sport, you have to be like think like that. But I mean, like this, the point system, like the takedown, the sweep,
the value,
take and mount, the knee on belly. there is a reason.
Yes.
It shows you that you cannot get caught in that position, because
So true.
if in the street, if you get caught in the street like that, you're gonna get beat up really bad. If someone put their knee in your belly and they're just gonna punch your face. If someone mounts you, they're gonna punch your face. You know, not only 4 times, like maybe more.
It's funny. I like that because you feel the adults don't take the points too much to heart, but the kids do. The kids, 4 points to them is I'm dead. You know
what?
So you teach them from childhood.
In my class, when they finish rolling, they stand up like, when I say paro, they stand up like, who won? It was like, no, there was no winner today. It was a draw. It's like, no, but I mount him.
They need the points.
They need the points. They really need the points.
And that connection, I think, of points is very healthy. And this is where I think competition is beneficial to people in jiu-jitsu, right? Forget the adults for a second, the kids. Competition teaches them so many things from what you're saying, right? And that weight that you're talking about is a valuable measurement for children.
It's true. It is.
Man, so impactful. You yourself, you're not a stranger to competitions. You've won multiple awards, first places. You've done some big things in jiu-jitsu. I was really happy to see you doing the Eddie Bravo Invitationals. Can you tell me how that experience was?
That was awesome, because I was top 15 in the IBJJF international ranking in 2013.
Whoa!
And then and that was like a lot of, as an adult, because in Brazil I never trained no gi, but I compete in no gi a lot.
Okay.
Because we didn't have the culture back then, so I think like probably with many black belts in UAE, so maybe you know how was the no gi training back then.
Yeah.
Fold your pants above your knee, take off the top, boom, let's go.
Yeah.
Every Friday sometimes, because it was like open mat, so that means like open mat back then was like no class. So you just come and roll, warm up and roll. So I used to train no gi like that. That was the way that I was introduced to no gi.
Was there a lot of foot logs?
I did that slapping. Yeah.
Okay.
I did that slapping classes also. You know, like I got smashed like that also when I started, white and blue belt. It was horrible.
Okay.
So, and I remember to train a lot of to just roll in no gi. Right. But then when there was a competition, just sign up for it. You know. But we didn't separate like, oh, this guy. When they talk about foot lock, it was more like straight ankle lock. You know, like I saw some heel hooks when I was purple. I saw some heel hooks. Knee ripping was allowed when I was purple. You know, and then as a purple and brown belt, we used to do some heel hooks, but it was not like as developed as it is today.
Absolutely.
But and then I got bronze in the Brazilian Nationals no gi like 3 times.
Okay.
But then when I got an invitation for Eddie Bravo, it was because I applied for it. Okay. But I didn't know that I would get selected because there was like so many.
How long did it take between applying and getting selected?
1 week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the adrenaline and let's go, let's get ready.
Yeah. Because also there was a tournament in Macau. Mm-hmm. But that was IBJJF rule,
right?
And I got second place. I had the honor to fight Shinya Aoki.
Wow!
But because it was IBJJF rules, I think he wasn't familiar with the rule. Man, he was destroying me.
Wow!
But then in the end, he tapped me out with the twister, which is not allowed in IBJJF. So he got disqualified.
I see. So he's ready for the EBIs.
Yeah, and then I won. I got second place. Okay. And then after that, I did another two no-gi tournaments. I think in Singapore. Mm-hmm. And then I applied for fun. I just applied for Eddie Bravo, and then I got the email. I was like, what? And then we flew all the way from Malaysia to Mexico.
Man, that's a far flight. You committed a lot of personal time and effort for this.
Yes, I went 10 days before, so I had to leave my job, but the gym supported me.
Very cool.
They still they treat like as I was still working,
Man, that's huge for the gym. One of their instructors to be an EBI under UFC Fight Pass, Monarchy MMA to be there. Man, that's crazy.
Yes, so I went to all the way to Mexico. I was the only out of all the 16 athletes. I was the one who was living the furthest. That was another guy who was from Yeah, there was just Ashley Williams from the Wales,
Okay.
but still near than
Man.
Malaysia.
I imagine Eddie Bravo being like, let's just see if this guy shows up. That he's so far.
Probably right. Probably right.
I love it.
No, because like they take care of everything. Like they say, okay, we give you a flight ticket to any day you want, any day you want. But we just cannot afford. Like let's say if you want to come 10 days before the tournament, we don't pay your hotel.
Sure.
We pay for for 3 days.
3 days before the event.
3 days before the event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I went 10 days before to acclimatize and stuff.
Good.
And then I felt like, oh, I'm so close to Rio. I think I'm gonna go to Brazil, you know. But so I arrived, but I stayed in a friend's gym.
Okay.
Man, he just said, like, I was cutting so much weight because I cut from 67 to 61.
Yeah.
Because the weighing was 135 pounds was 100 was 61 kg 0.2.
Okay.
And this guy who's a black belt, he's from Top Brothers, Mexico. He was cooking for me. He said, okay, you stay in my house.
Wow.
And I never seen that guy before. He was a friend of a friend of a friend.
Wow.
Who put us together. And then I stay in his apartment. He said, what do you need? Just tell me, I can buy for you. And then I was training his gym. I was sleeping in his house. He was cooking for me.
What's his name?
You know, like Angelo.
Shout out to Angelo. What a guy.
Shout out to Angelo, man. He was a man. He took care of me in Mexico. He was taking me around everywhere.
Right.
So then I on the EBI itself was there was like a rules briefing, and man, I saw all the big names. I never seen Eddie Bravo before.
Right.
But I was a big fan of him because I remember what he did in the ADCC Brazil.
Right.
Because I was always in touch, like following my division, like the 65, 66 kg. All the lightest guy was always trying to get to know all of them.
Right.
When he tapped Royal Gracie, my idol, was like, what the hell is going on here? So then I met Eddie Bravo, and then I saw Gary Tonnen, Ed Cummings, and Gio Martinez, and it's like, wow, I'm among these guys.
Yes.
And then we had like a press conference, and then we all sit down next to each other. We had a microphone for each other to talk about, like, wow, man, what's going on? You know, like,
that's so cool. That must have been a hell of an experience. And you had like the Danaher Death Squad as well on EBI 10.
Yeah. John Danaher was there.
Very cool.
A lot of guys were there. You know, like,
did you get to interact with them much?
Yeah, not much, because everybody was like cutting weight. You know,
sure.
like
I see. Everybody's pissed off.
Gary Tonnen was there just to make fun of people. You know, like. But it was good. It was good.
Okay.
It was very good experience. Unfortunately, I lost in the second fight. I got caught in the guillotine very early in the second fight.
But I want to talk about your first fight because that was beautiful. Like you were fighting against a guy called Suraj.
Right, yeah.
And you caught him in a calf slicer. It was just a beautiful scramble, and you dominated that entire match.
Yeah, I drilled that game a lot. Not the calf slice, but the honey hole, the saddle, the 411 position.
Yes.
And then I drilled a lot, the entries, you know. But then, honestly, because I didn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
I thought they say, okay, warm up. I give you guys 15 minutes to warm up, and then we start. And I said, oh, okay. And then I start to warm up, and they told us to line up.
Whoa!
But actually, the fights would start in 15 minutes, and I was the second fight. I was the third fight.
Oh.
So I didn't warm up properly, and then I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, let's do it. So we line up. So fight next. During the fight, this guy, he got second place in the world's no gi, I think 2 weeks before EBI, and I was like, oh my god,
my first fight. Yeah,
my first fight. So and then I just like, okay, so let's see how it's gonna be, and I ended up like getting what I wanted to be, what I drilled, which was like the saddle, and I'm like, okay, from here is what should I do from here? I forgot.
Oh wow!
I forgot what I had to do there. It just like went blank. So when I was trying to go for heel hook, I think he panicked, and then I was panicking also because
he
my
turned
leg was next to him.
and you caught his waist.
When he turned, I just like put my leg in between, and then there was like in the form of X.
Yes.
And then I just, okay, let's see how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Boom, and then I hugged his waist, and then Like, oh, he's not feeling. And then when I look at the screen, I saw his face showing that he was feeling pain.
Oh
It's like,
yeah.
oh, okay, that's
Love
it. And then I
it.
just fell on the side and I squeezed and hit that. And
Man,
then, boom.
wow. It's incredible. And look, even something a step back. When you were jumping off that base and coming on to start that fight with Siraj, the announcer was saying, so this is Bruninho Barbosa. His specialization is triangle. He's a guard player. And then you didn't play guard.
Because we don't know who we're going to fight,
Yeah.
right? And then 2 days before, we saw the bracket. 2 days before the briefing, the rules briefing, we saw the bracket.
Okay.
And then Angelo saw the bracket and sent to me because he was in touch with the organizer, like the Mexican people around there, because it was under the Mexican Federation. So they sent me the list, and then I checked this guy video, and then he had like an insane pressure on top.
Oh.
And then a lot of my students say, hey, you have to play top, your top is very good. And then I was like, okay, I cannot play bottom with this guy. He's gonna crush my face.
You adjusted your
That's
game.
why I didn't want to play. Yeah, just change. I said, no, I'm gonna play top. If we have to go down, I'll make sure that I'm on top. I don't want to play bottom.
It's amazing to talk to you, man. I wish we could do this with every major fight that we see, because it's beautiful to see the insight. When you were fighting with him, I noticed, man, your hand was on his ankle. When he thought of standing up, like, calm down, motherfucker, you're not going up. you kept his ass down.
Because I want to be on top of him.
Yeah.
You know, like, but then, there's a time. I think you can see that one on the. There's another video. There's another video where they show in slow motion. When I tried to kick him, I was scared of kicking his knee and hurt him.
Yeah.
That I bend my leg so I don't kick him properly.
I saw that.
And then I almost, I shouldn't. I should just kick.
You were being so considerate.
I didn't want to kick him and hurt him because I felt, okay, his leg is very close to mine.
Yeah.
If I kick, you're gonna be with my shin. I might hurt him.
Yeah.
And I was afraid to get in trouble, or like, I don't know, if I kick him, like illegal kick and get penalized, or I don't know, get kicked out of the event.
You didn't want to risk it.
I even hurt the guy also, who was being really nice to me, like he was trying to talk to me before the event, and I was just trying to go away because we had like a couple of friends in common, he trained in GF team.
I see.
And I had like a lot of friends. He went to Brazil, he trained in Brazil.
Okay.
But he was so nice guy. Do you want to be friend with him? Not at that moment, Like,
I get you, 100%. But man, it was beautiful to see, and like, I've watched so many of your fights by now. Like, before I interview somebody, I like to really get to know them so I can, shine the light properly. And something about you that's so fascinating is your calmness. You have like this peaceful face when you're rolling, almost like you're at a zen point. You're very happy.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you're stressed in a lot of competitions. There's some competition where a guy has your heel and you're rolling out of it and you're like, I'm happy, I'm chill. Yeah. What is your mindset when you compete, when you go into a fight? Is it, I'm ready to die, like some people say? Is it like, what are you thinking?
So I was teaching a class yesterday and I was talking about that. I'm always scared to fight. But I have problems, like some mental issues about like, I have low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go to competition, it's something that makes me feel big. Okay. But I'm scared to go there and lose again.
Okay.
Because I lost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't want to like lose again, especially that sometimes I'm going to tournaments that have my students with me.
Yes, of course.
So I take very seriously the lead by example. So I want to perform really well. And then it's not about being a champion, like I know the impact that competition has on me. That's the reason I keep on doing. But when I'm in the warm-up area, I'm freaking out. Like if I could, I would go home right now. But I just have a mission in front of me and I have to step on the mat and do my job. And then I learned that from my professor, Professor Buddha. He said, you never show how tired you are, how scared you are. You can't show that to your opponent because he'll take advantage on that. And then I saw that on him. He's a big guy, 110 kg. And being his student was easy because he was so kind. Like totally the opposite of my first professor, right?
Right.
But I mean, like, I like both sides. I cannot take just one side. This guy is too tough. This one is too nice. No, I have to balance those things.
Sure.
So Buddha taught me to never show how weak I am, how tired I am, because people take advantage on me. So and then I just fight like him, like. And then also I used to train like long rounds,
Hmm.
and then I noticed that, and Buddha also told me that once, like, I know to beat you, people have to beat you within 5 minutes.
Mm.
After 5 minutes, once you warm up your lungs, nobody can beat you anymore.
Mm.
And then I was like, okay. So, and then after a few minutes where my body, because I never warm up properly before,
I
I
see.
always do that thing like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then I made a lot of mistakes like this, like during my career. And then I warm up during the fight, which is a problem. That's why a lot of people get
Absolutely.
out, because they don't warm up properly on the outside.
Very
And
true.
then they step into the mat. Yeah.
Okay.
That happened to me a lot. But now I learned how to warm up. So I warm up a lot before, like at least I roll with someone for 20 minutes, and then I'm ready to go.
You know what the problem is,
So
Bruno? I don't want to interrupt you, but on this warm-up thing, a
no,
lot of problem people face is they don't know when they're gonna get called up to fight. So you don't know how much to
yeah,
warm up and when to warm up. What do you do about that in a
yeah.
competition? What's your approach towards this?
So the IBJJF competitions are quite. I really like the schedule on IBJJF. I never
Mhm.
had big issues in IBJJF, but yes, in Brazil I compete. My first fight 11 a.m., my
Mhm.
second fight 3 p.m., and my
My
final at
God.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
So
So
that happened. That was my first tournament as a purple belt. That was horrible. Look,
yeah.
you don't eat.
Mm.
You're afraid to go to the toilet, and they call your name.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I remember that was this tournament in IBJJF. Was when I went to Japan for my first time. I was living the dream. Wow, I'm in Brazil. I'm in Japan, and
Mm.
I'm competing in Japan. And then I always had the problem, like my legs feel like jelly during the fight, and it takes time for me to get to that point. So
Interesting.
out of nothing, I just got one of my students. I asked him to put a gi.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, okay, so I'm gonna play guard on you. You just smash me, and then I'm gonna push you away to
Mm-hmm.
warm up my legs, because this is where I feel really bad.
Sure.
We start to do that just for warm up. When we saw, we'll be rolling for 20 minutes, and then it's like, man, I'm sweaty right now. I have to change gi. So I went to change. I put another gi,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was a champion. I won 3 fights, and I didn't feel
Wow.
tired. And my
Wow.
final, I won by 23-0.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that forever now. So
Absolutely.
every time before I compete, I roll with someone for about 20 minutes to warm up myself and to get ready. But then, as I said, I always check the time. If because in IBJF, they tell you that your fight is at 10, you should
Yep.
be ready by 9:30.
Wow. I get
So
you.
at least like 8:30, 9, I will be moving around already, and
Get you.
I will not be going crazy.
Right.
But then I try to stop, like, at least like if it's scheduled for 10 a.m.,
Mm-hmm.
I try to stop my warm up by 9:30.
Yep.
But I don't just sit down and wait.
You're moving
I
around.
just move. Yeah. See, okay, I sit down, I relax a little bit, then I move a little bit again.
Sure.
You cannot
Sure.
get cold.
What a great advice for everybody listening out there that likes to compete. And just to add to what you're saying, there was two books that really impacted me in terms of the psychology of sports. There was Iron Mike Tyson's book, and there was another book that I
Mm-hmm.
read regarding sports psychology. And they were saying that you need to discover the path that leads you to the result you want. And you need to
Yeah.
don't do it passively. You have to actively watch what are the things that you do that led to a win and start
Yeah.
replicating them every time you want to win. And then when you don't
Yeah.
win,
Yeah.
remove that element that you feel didn't help and add another one. And finally, you have a recipe for you. It's different for everybody. You do it like a ritual before the fight, and your mind is ready to win, not just your body.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. And then I'm telling you, I'm still nervous,
Mhm.
right? I'm still scared to lose. I'm
Yes.
still like, if I could, I wouldn't fight, but I know it's good. It's like a, a not so good medicine that you have to take
Yeah. I
in
like
order to
that.
heal your disease, whatever. You have to take that medicine. It
Wow.
doesn't taste well, but you have to.
Yeah.
So that's why I go to competition, because I know what it does to me. And now I add this thing. So
Beautiful.
since that gold medal, I never stopped. That was 2017,
Yeah.
and I never stopped doing that. Same.
Beautiful.
I only lost. I only lost twice since 2017, because I
Mhm.
lost the world master in the quarterfinal.
Mm-hmm.
I lost to Osvaldo Queixinho like 2-0.
Okay.
very close, tough but close match. And I lost. I consider a loss because I competed the adults the same like the next day. I
Yeah.
competed the adults in the Las Vegas Open, and I lost the second fight. But yeah, the first fights I'm doing really well after I changed the way I warm up.
I love it, man. I love the psychology behind it. Listen, I wanted to touch up on Malaysia to shine a light as
Yeah.
well on the country that you now call home.
Yes.
How was it that it happened that you ended up in Malaysia? Was it directly through your gym that you were training or through friends?
Through friends. So it was like back what you say when you started, the connections. So in 2008, I went to a tournament World Cup under CBJJD in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and I met 4 French guys.
Okay.
And then we became friends on social media. And then there was this guy, Adrian. He was a friend of a guy who was opening a gym here in Malaysia. So and then this guy who's my boss today, Samir, his name, is my black belt also. He was looking for a black belt to teach here. So Adrian mentioned my name. And then after Adrian sent me a message saying, hey, you want to go to Malaysia? Then I never heard of Malaysia before. He said, I have a friend that's opening a martial arts school. Do you want to go teach? I already spoke to him about you. But yeah, I want to go. He's like, okay, so just add him on Facebook and send him your profile, your curriculum.
And he was just opening up, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was back in 2013.
Very cool.
And then he was purple belt back then, and he was the one teaching jiu-jitsu here in this gym. Because he first opened the gym in his condo, his own condo. He just laid some mats, and he was
amazing.
He's very passionate about martial art also.
Cool.
So and then I sent my CV, and every day I was sending him messages. Hey, did you choose the coach? Did you choose the coach? Did you choose the coach? Like with the Google Translate, of course.
Nice.
And then one day he called me during one of my kids' classes. I didn't understand a word, and so I went home. I asked one of my students to take me home by car, so because I was afraid he called back.
Sure.
So when he called me, he told me that he chose me.
Wow.
And then that's how I came to Malaysia. And then before I come to Malaysia, I found out my wife was pregnant.
Whoa.
Before
Wow. Wow. So it came with a lot of blessings.
Yes. Yeah. But it was a tough decision also because I had to leave them in Brazil to go to Malaysia to pursue my dream.
How long did you leave your family there?
6 months. After I couldn't take anymore, I had to go back to Brazil. And then I gave up on everything. But it was good because I could pay for all the treatments my wife had to do during the pregnancy.
Sure.
You know, like I was sending money.
Incredible.
Only like private hospitals, you know.
Let's
go
go.
To this private doctor,
nice.
go to the best, you know. Yeah. Like the gym was just starting, you know. I was not making that much money, but I was happy that I could help my wife to go had the best treatment. It was my first kid.
100%.
But then like she started to had some problems, like going to the hospitals very early by herself. And then I had to choose. And then I just I thank them. I just say thank you, but I have to go back to stay with her.
Sure.
And that's how I gave up on my dream. And then I went back to Brazil. But then someone saw me on Facebook. They saw that I was here in Malaysia, then I was back in Brazil.
Okay.
And then they offered me a job in Kyrgyzstan.
Wow.
So, and then I was laying down in bed with my wife, like, okay, I got this offer. What do you think? She just looked at me like, hey, we have no money. And then I was like, so my son was just born. And then I was like, so should I go? She said, yeah, this is what I like to do. Just go and see what it is. And we ended up like staying there for 1 year.
You went together?
No, I went first. I stayed 4 months.
Okay.
I saved money. For this 4 months. And then I bought my flight ticket back to Brazil.
Okay.
I picked up my wife and my kid, and then we went back to Kyrgyzstan.
Wow. Wow, what an experience. Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. And also, when I first came to Malaysia, I have to say that, when I first came to Malaysia, when I didn't speak English, on the third day, I was crying in my room. I called my wife because I didn't speak English. She couldn't understand anything that people were saying to me. I
Mm-hmm.
call my wife. It's like, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna stay this month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get the money and I go back home. It's like, no, you're not coming back. You're staying there
Wow.
because we've been together for so long. And the only thing you keep on saying that your dream was to teach jiu-jitsu out of Brazil one day, and now you have it and you want to give up. I say, yeah, it's really hard. I don't speak the language. I don't understand anything they say.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you're not coming back. Don't come back.
Unbelievable. The
And then I only
support
came back,
system.
of course. I only came back after 6 months because she was having trouble. Then
Yeah, it was
okay,
real. It was a very
the life
real
was hard.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, that's incredible. It's beautiful to the loved ones to us. There are loved ones for a reason because they understand us better than
yes,
most. And she
definitely.
clearly understood what makes you tick. You came back. It was
Yeah,
important for her. It was a serious situation. But then after your son was born, your son, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So after your son was born, she must have felt like Bruno needs this. He needs to go. And once that happened, it's
Yeah.
aligned. So you went to Kyrgyzstan for how long?
1 year, and then I was the first black belt and the only in the only jiu-jitsu
Wow.
school in the whole country.
Wow. And
Now we have brown belts. Now one of the black belt there is my student now.
he
I
was your
stayed there for
student from
one
what
year, but
belt?
I was still from white.
Whoa.
Yeah, and one of them is Abdurrahman Murtazaliyev. He's brown belt, but he was training. He went to train in New York. He
Sure.
got bronze medal in the Asian Games.
Amazing.
Murtazaliyev is my black belt. All of them from white belts,
Unbelievable,
But
man.
but they come to Malaysia. They train with me, and then
Sure.
I'm always in touch with them. I take care of them. They still have me as their professor, and then they put me as a Kyrgyzstan national coach to go to
Wow.
the Asian Games with them.
What an experience you've had, man, through this
Yes.
jiu-jitsu
Even though I
journey.
was still in Malaysia, they sent me a invitation. It's like, hey, do you want to be our national coach?
Wow.
I was like, wow. It's like, yeah, yeah, no, there's nobody better than you. We only trust you. You first came here. You
Yes.
gave us everything you had, and
That's a lot of
unfortunately, I couldn't
love.
stay longer.
Mm.
Yeah, it's true. They love me also.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. You've left an interesting cookie trail in your jiu-jitsu career. Like all these places, man, there's so much love for you, even though it's 1 year. You know, people look at
Yeah,
1 year as a short amount of time, but you've made a very big impact there as well.
and they kept training really hard. They kept training really, really
Incredible.
hard. So
Incredible.
much that Murtazali stayed there, and then he went to Brazil for a short, like 3 months,
Hmm.
because he was training. Like, but he was always like, "What do you think if I go to Brazil? What do
Yeah.
you think if I go here? What do you think if I compete here? Oh, can you sign for me this document?" Yeah, I'm always taking care of them.
Wow.
And when he went to train with Cicero Costa back then, I was the one who contacted Professor
You
Cicero
arranged
Costa,
it.
to
Wow.
ask, yeah, because he need to get a invitation letter to get the Brazilian visa,
Sure.
So
Sure.
we arranged with Professor Cicero,
So
and now he's a black belt, so he doesn't need me anymore.
he's his own man now in jiu-jitsu. What a different
Yeah.
world. Tell me something, Bruno. So you get to Malaysia after Kyrgyzstan and you start working back in Monarchy MMA, or was it somewhere else?
Yes, yes, because I was, and then because also Kyrgyzstan was amazing,
Mm, of
but it was hard for my family
course.
because it was everything in
Yeah.
Russian, not in English, and then in Brazil we have to take, like, the kids have to take some vaccines. It's like mandatory, otherwise you can even lose your kids.
Sure.
And it was hard to get those vaccines in Kyrgyzstan.
Oh.
And me and my wife, we decided to go back. So she went first with my son,
Mm-hmm.
and I stayed for another 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went later. So I was in Brazil, and then I decided not to go back anymore
Mm.
to any country. I want to stay in Brazil. I was tired to stay away from my family. But then Samir messaged me again and he said, okay, why do you want to come back?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, bro, I have a friend that is better than me. He's a black belt. He's very good. He's strong. He competes. He has many titles. He said, no, I want you.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, okay. And then, okay, let me discuss with my wife first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was really sure that I didn't want to live anymore.
Sure.
Because I missed my son's first birthday. Like I missed pretty much like 7 months of my wife's pregnancy. I was sad of being missing those moments. I
Of
didn't want to
course.
miss that anymore. But then we came to a point that I decided to come back to Malaysia, and then I've been here since then. That was beginning of 2015, and now
Unbelievable.
they're here with me.
Man, you know, it's amazing how sometimes it's not short-sightedness. It's just when you're living in the moment, you have to make these decisions that are sometimes sacrificial, right? Missing
Yeah,
your son's first birthday, 7 months of your wife's pregnancy. These are not small things. These are very huge. But
yeah,
but then when you look at them now, you look back, it allowed you to have so much more valuable memories, even more together because of that
yes,
move you did,
yes.
right? And not to be chasing
Exactly. My
after
son,
bills and all of this.
exactly. My son is 6 years old. He speaks English,
I love it.
and then I learned English like when I was 30 years old.
Mm,
And then I even told him like, I don't, you don't need to forget Portuguese.
mm,
I want you to learn English
mm.
or something else. He can count in Chinese because he's going to a
Wow.
school where he's learning English, Chinese, and even like the Malaysian language,
Right,
Bahasa Melayu.
right.
So my son can learn like easily 3 languages
So does
plus
he?
the Portuguese that we speak at home.
So he speaks Portuguese,
He
Malaysian.
speaks Portuguese and English. No, it's Portuguese and English.
Okay,
He's just learning like the Malaysian language.
amazing.
But he can count. He can count
Mm.
in and say some words in Chinese already,
Now,
which we don't. We have no idea what he's talking about.
you're a jiu-jitsu ambassador, but your son has a chance of being a real ambassador now with the amount
Man,
of
that's
knowledge
all
he
I want.
has.
That's all. That's all I want from him.
Sure.
That's all I want from him.
Sure. That's amazing, man. It's because, like, especially parents that go through a difficult childhood, right?
Yeah.
When they finally have kids, they sometimes want to shelter their kids from that childhood and give them better than they
Yeah.
had, you know. But sometimes, you know, there's a thin line between sheltering too much and sheltering enough. And
Yeah.
I think jujitsu is a nice balance for a parent like that.
Definitely.
You know, it teaches them reality, teaches them how life really
Yeah.
works and how to persevere and push for something to get better, right?
Yeah. I threw him in a tournament when he was 4 years old. That
Wow.
was a small tournament here, and then a friend of mine said, "Hey, dude, don't you want to put your son?" It's like, bro, my son is just 4.
Hmm.
He said, "No, it's just for fun." And I was like, "Yeah, put his name." And then
Nice.
I was like, "My God, what? How can I tell my wife
What
now?"
have I done?
And then, and oh my goodness! So then his name was in the bracket, and then I
Right.
was like, my heart was pumping. And but he was not training; he was just
Holy
going there
shit.
because I'm the one who teach the kids classes here.
Yes.
And then when I bring him in, I'm his father. I'm not
Mm.
his professor.
Yes.
So he cries. He wants to hug me. You know, he wants to come to my on my arms, and I can't have that in my class while I'm working. It's my
Of
job.
course. Of
So I
course.
only bring him. I only bring him once in a while
Sure.
in the gym. And then okay, we got him in the gi. We throw him in a tournament. It was more like demo, you know, like okay, you take this guy down, and then he will take you
Exactly.
down. And then he got a gold medal. He got very very happy.
Wow.
Very happy.
Wow.
He was
The
just 4, so
impact.
I can say like, yeah, your first tournament was 4 when you're 4 years old. You know.
The impact, man. I think there's a bridging point between the old school jiu-jitsu and I don't want to call it the new school. I just want to say
Mm.
the old school that's evolved, you know? And
Yeah, yeah,
people have this mentality that jiu-jitsu, this kids UAE competitions and these kids competitions where every kid gets a medal, this is bullshit. I beg to differ. Jiu-jitsu evolved. We evolved as humans. We societies, we evolved,
yes, yes,
right? We learned how to deal with each other better, how to work better, how to inspire kids better. If kids used to be 50%, 30% that continued in jiu-jitsu back then, today maybe it's 50 or 60, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
yeah.
having that 50 or 60 benefit from 10% of jiu-jitsu is better than having the 30, 40% benefit from nothing, right?
Yes, I
So
agree. I
so
agree.
so it's beautiful to hear that you're putting your son into this. He's getting the feel for jiu-jitsu and in the right time when he's ready for it. Like has he started to
Yeah.
train jiu-jitsu more?
No.
No. So when he's ready for it, I think that's the interesting thing. And I'm going to talk to Wendell about this in depth when I talk to him. The relationship between father and son in jiu-jitsu, because he lived under a very respected black belt, and he is now a very respected black belt who has a son. So
Yes.
I want to talk to him about this, and maybe me and you can both learn something about parenting a kid with
No,
the
I wanna learn from him also
yeah
because I really wanted my kid to do jiu-jitsu,
yeah
but I know that he's not really into it.
yeah
As I told you, like his first tournament, he was 4 years old. He went there, he played,
yeah
he got a medal. Then I throw him in another tournament. There was another tournament that he
sure
competed 3 times,
mm.
but then he got gold medal in the first 2.
I see
But then the third one, there would be no gold medal for all the kids. There was a proper bracket.
yeah
So he lost and he
mm.
got bronze. So that was hard for him to understand that he
Sure
wouldn't be in the first place.
sure
So there was a podium, and then he had to stand in the third place.
sure
And then he said, No, I don't want the third. I won the first one. I
Right.
say, no, today you lost. You have to go to the third.
Yeah.
He said, no, this medal is not gold. I don't want this medal.
Yeah.
I say, no, because you lost. That's why you got this medal.
Yeah.
And then I have to tell him, hey, I have bronze medal too. He's like, really? But I only see gold. He said, no, I have bronze medal.
Beautiful.
So I say, okay, when you go home, I show you. When you go home, before anything else, like, Dad, show me your bronze medal. And then I went to the drawer. I was like, hey, look. He's like, oh, it's like mine. It's like, yeah, you see, because I lost also, so I got bronze medal. Sometimes you don't even get a medal.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the game changer, man, because it's funny. In the moment you don't see it, but when they grow up, these are the memories that build them, right? These are the memories they look back like, man, even them when they were kids, they didn't have weight behind that event. But when they get older, for some reason, they flash back to it. When they lose at work, when somebody thinks they're not good enough, they flash back to your bronze medal. It has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu, but they will,
It's true.
So
it's true.
It's really a beautiful thing, man. I can talk to you for 10 days, by the way. Like, you have such a nice way about you. You have a nice philosophy. Your brain is blessed with an ability to translate emotion into a way people can understand. That's why I really wanted to talk to you about your philosophy. Man, it's fact, not flattery, honestly. So your philosophy around jiu-jitsu, I have a few questions that I want to like kind of pick your brain on.
Okay.
So
let's go.
First of all, is why do you think so deeply about jiu-jitsu and life? Because I see you have a YouTube channel, right? And I recommend people to check out your YouTube channel and I want to see more of one thing, Bruno. You have these clips where you sit on a chair and you talk, right? And you don't even edit them. Like, I see you start off, you sit down, you take a deep breath, and you're waiting. Like, these are the parts that people usually cut out of videos. You don't, and I like that. I actually like that in your video.
Thank you. I really don't know what to do, because I feel that I want to talk to people. I want to let people know about not about Bruno, about what I have to say, because I know that a lot of people out there is struggling with something.
True.
That maybe I have a word that, as I told you in the beginning, might change their life, their day. So I just had a YouTube channel where I was posting randomly, like some stuff. And then so let me be like a motivational speaker. Let's talk to people.
Sure.
And then, a few people watch it. And sometimes I just feel like, I don't know what to say today. I don't know what to do today. That's why sometimes I don't post much. And now, now I showed some lockdowns, some things about the lockdown, some things that people can do during the lockdown.
Yeah.
During the quarantine that they can do at home. I post that. Man, there was one video that I post 23 solo drills.
I saw
There's
that.
23 different techniques you can do at home. And then I post, 4 videos of solo drills that I post on my YouTube channel.
I've seen those. I've seen your videos, Bruno. They're very nice. They're from the heart. But the reason I focused on these talk videos is because we don't have enough people from your background talking in that format with such clear and understood English, right? I think sometimes you got to focus on quantity, not quality. Some people, they always say focus on quality, not quantity. No, it's other way around. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, when it comes to the mind, when it comes to the brain, sometimes it's quantity, not quality. So I would implore you to keep going, and I will be watching them. I have a notification set on your YouTube videos, and I'm waiting for your next one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have something in mind that I want to say to people that I want to record, but I have to sit down and make more like specific.
Sure.
So it's like I learned this like in religion, like people say, don't talk about how good God is for you. Show people how good God is for you. So show to people what that good thing, what that thing is so good for you, because you cannot stop talking about it.
Yes.
But I don't say, oh, Zaid, come to the jiu-jitsu, it's so good. You won't come until you see that it's good.
Very true.
Some people, they come right away, but other people, they wait, as you said, that wait to see that.
Yes.
Oh man, that thing really works. Because if it's so good for you, why won't you share with someone else? If it's so good, why would you be selfish and keep for yourself, right? So the jiu-jitsu tournament helped me so much. Man, I came from a place where I told you, like, I was born in a system that was designed for me to fail, right? I grew up with people around me selling drugs, holding guns. My cousin, we were born like 1 week apart from each other. So we were the same age. I brought him to jiu-jitsu, and then he left. He didn't stay in jiu-jitsu. He became a drug dealer, and he died two years and a half ago. He passed away because like he got addicted to cocaine and alcohol.
Right.
He lost his job, you know, like, and then I don't want people to go through that. And then I saw two guys, same age, two different paths.
Yeah, parallel lives.
Yeah, so he chose to do that, and that was what the system wanted me to be. Right? Well, I was born to grow up, go to school, drop out at the 4th grade or 6th grade, and go to work on a construction site.
Yeah.
Get a wife, a kid, maybe a bunch of kids, and still live in the same place.
Yeah.
And I just said that no, I want to be champion one day.
Yeah.
And everything started off like this.
Yeah.
First, I want to be on the podium, win a medal.
Yes.
Now I feel that the impact that jiu-jitsu competition had in my mind that made me someone, maybe made me be known, made me like people messaging me, black belts messaging me to say, "Oh man, how can you do this?
Right.
How are you still strong? How are you
Right.
still doing that?"
Right.
And then some people that I look at them like, "Bro, you are my idol. How can you ask me this kind of thing?"
Right.
They say, "No, because I see you every day doing the same thing without giving up, even though we are all going through tough times."
Sure.
Bro, my mental toughness came from jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying that I don't feel sad sometimes. Yes, I feel.
Sure.
But the struggle, man, I got put to sleep in 10 seconds in competition. I got tapped out in 10 seconds in competition. I lost many times in jiu-jitsu competition, but I was still going back to the gym, training more to compete again to fix that mistake. That wasn't working on towards my gold medal. That was working on a tougher Bruno, you know, like mentally.
Yes.
That today would share that to people that are easily getting like they have low self-esteem as I have.
Yes.
Because when I look at the guy in front of me in the competition, I always think that guy gonna kick my ass. I mean, that guy gonna beat me up for sure. But still, that is not enough to stop me from going there and see how it's gonna be.
Absolutely.
And then it's like that is not. Of course, many times in my career, I thought about giving up.
Yeah.
Right. But then the first time I tried to give up, I brought my gi and my belt because I grew up in this culture where, like, if you get promoted, if I get promoted, my old belt will go to someone else.
I like that.
So yeah. So and then I brought my gi and my belt, and I came to Professor. I was purple belt. That was 2003. I came to Professor Buddha and said, "It's like, okay, I think jiu-jitsu is not for me. I will never gonna be a world champion. So I brought my gi and my belt, give to someone else that needs more." And he said, "What the hell are you saying?" It's like, "No, it's very hard. I've been losing a lot. You know, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm trying to be a world champion, but it's not working." He said, "You know what? Maybe you'll never be a world champion. Maybe that's not your destiny. But maybe your destiny will be create a world champion.
Yes.
Help someone to become a world champion."
Yes.
And he said, "Yeah, okay, I don't want to hear that. I want to go home. And so just take my gi." He's like, "Look, take this gi, go back home, come take 2 weeks off, and then you come back." Because I was still dealing with supermarket working and still training and still want to be a world champion.
Sure.
And man, he told me to take a 2 weeks off of jiu-jitsu and then come back. Man, I was back on the next day.
Wow.
It's like, what the hell was I doing?
It was just a moment of rage or thought.
Yeah. And then, man, even as a black belt, I thought about quitting. But now I feel that I have like people to take care of.
Yes.
That people that come look at me and say, "Professor, what can I do in my life?
Yeah,
Professor, how can I talk to?" Yeah, you know, like my job is really hard. Professor, help me, give me a word. And then okay, now it's not just for me anymore. You know, like my wife has also like her mind was very weak, and we've been married for 11 years.
Wow.
Today I have a totally different woman in my house.
Yeah.
I have a tougher woman that she believed more in herself.
Nice.
Because it's me on her showing, talking, showing someone else, and she sees that I don't stop this, you know.
Right.
And then I know the impact that jiu-jitsu competition has in my life on this mental side.
Mhm.
And then that's why I don't stop. That's why I can't stop.
That's why you share your philosophy. You know, it's everything you just said resounds so much with everybody, regardless of your social status or where you come from. The dream that sports give. Forget jiu-jitsu for a second. Sports in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
The reason that they're so valuable
Uh-huh.
to humans is they implant a dream in younger kids, regardless of where they come from, that life is in their hands. They could work and persist
Exactly.
on something and become
Exactly.
something different than what life was supposed to look like for them.
Yeah, yeah.
And the impact that you're saying you have on your students and your wife, this is something that I feel jiu-jitsu offered to me. It's
Mhm.
my life isn't jiu-jitsu. I didn't live to compete and to I came into jiu-jitsu when I was 26, 27 years old, so late in my life. But I was always the youngest kid in class. I was always the youngest person in the group. My parents put me into the school system very early. I graduated high school 15. I was way too young for many things. I always felt an insecurity about it. Jiu-jitsu brought that self-security to me, that reassurance, and it gave me the confidence in work and business when I go into meetings. It's not like I'm gonna strangle people in the meeting, but
Yeah, yeah.
maybe knowing deep down that I could helps. But it's that feeling where I've been humbled that there are people I accept that know better than me, and I want to learn from them. And that
Yeah.
everybody has their unique thing to offer in life, and you got to be open to it in order to receive, right? Hickson Gracie has a beautiful
Sure.
quote. It's the mind is like an umbrella. The mind's like a parachute. It doesn't work unless it's open. So
Yeah.
it changed my life from that perspective. I like to sit down and talk to people like you because there is more to jiu-jitsu than strangling and chokes. There's the mindset of
Yes,
it.
definitely. Definitely.
I
That's
want
what I like to talk about.
And I want to ask you something regarding the stages of jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a martial art
Mhm.
which by nature has belts in order to progress. You have white, blue, purple, brown, black. Some, they say the belt is only made to tie your gi. Others, they have a belief on them. What is your philosophy behind the belt system in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I think it's like nowadays people are getting tougher really early. You know,
Mm,
like you see, like really, because there's a lot of there's more like sources where you can get. There's way more information than you had when I started jiu-jitsu, where I was learning from magazine, of course, from my professor. My professor is always my leader, but I was trying to see, okay, VHS tape, you know,
right.
and now people are getting tough really early in life in the jiu-jitsu journey,
Mm,
as a blue belt, as a purple belt. But I really like the belt system.
mm.
But maybe we should, instead of you lock someone with a time frame, maybe you could just, man, if this guy, like we have this guy, um, forgot his name, Mika Galvão in Brazil.
Mm,
He's been beating everybody, and then there was a problem that he couldn't compete as a purple belt.
right, because,
But and he already claimed the blue belt division.
yes,
So why are you gonna make him stay another year?
right.
But now it seems like IBJJF changed a little bit. I really like, I like a little bit the set of the. It's very hard to go deep into it, but I like the belt system. But I think you always have to. There's always a space for you to change and to add something that will make it
I,
better instead of just keep something that like from long
I
time.
get you. I get you. I think Bruno, the point that I'm trying to extract from you, I think, is the belts represent skill, but I don't believe that's all they should represent. Maybe this
No,
guy
no, no.
that's a blue belt, he's dominating blue belts, but maybe he doesn't spend enough time helping white belts. Maybe he didn't get that phase because
Oh, okay, I get
every
it.
belt in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
jiu-jitsu, like people have this mindset
It's
today.
like a task. It's like a job. You know, like you got this belt, bro. With this belt, something else will come.
Yes.
You know, like so.
Yes.
That's what my what I feel. Like sometimes people say, Professor, why you never said, you always happy, you always doing this, you always doing this, people, because that's what comes with the black belt.
Hmm.
I cannot run away from that.
There's a
But
responsibility.
if
Yes.
that is a responsibility, and people don't think like that anymore because it's changing.
Yeah.
Time is changing. It's becoming like so cool.
Yeah.
You know, like you are brown belt, you don't even know what your professor like. You don't even know your professor name anymore.
Yep.
You know, like because you don't have to because you were checking something else. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like, but
We're
that
losing
is
the
the
soul.
responsibility. Definitely, we are. Man, I was I never played much the game of my professor because he was 110 kg, but I know everything about him. I know his game
Of course.
because he was the one in front of me. But the problem right now with so much sources, like people are losing that thing. Okay, I'm a blue belt. I should help the white belt.
Yeah.
I'm a purple belt. I should help assist the class.
Yes.
I'm a brown belt. I'm second in line. I'm gonna be a black belt nowadays. So there are some stuff that I have to do. You know, like, and when I remember, I used to take some all my belts. I got instead unless before purple, blue and purple, brown and black, I got tested for my belts. And for brown belt, it was 7 different black belts. It was like stations.
Yeah.
And I had to go through every single one, asking me random questions and asking me to show some different techniques.
Nice.
And then I was like, whoa, that was crazy. And then I also had to tell them like how. There was a question like how to teach kids. If the professor was busy, what would you do? You know, sometimes you just don't need to go and ask. You just go there and do what you feel that you have to be done.
Right.
You know, but the problem also, like, because before it was like, so I couldn't pay the gym, so I just knew that I have to train, and then I knew that I had the job. But now the problem is that jiu-jitsu becomes so much commercial, so much business that people say, okay, I'm here, I pay.
I want something.
You teach me, and that's it. I don't have to do anything else.
I get you.
You know, like here's my money. You teach me. I pay you. You teach me, and then that's it. You know, and then we are losing that. Okay, that like the mentor and the student. You know, like, and then after that guy will have his student. He will have his own school.
Right.
But I think once they become black belt and they have their own school, they will feel that. Unfortunately, they will feel late. You know, like, but I hope they will all learn. You know, like,
you know, they learn. But unfortunately, like you just said, the commercialization of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu was developed in Brazil and turned into a community-based martial art. It was like in your community, the black belt, he's like the godfather of the community, and he takes care of all the kids and teaches and everything. And you look up to him, and as a young boy, you have your father to look up to, you have your mother to look up to, and now you have your master to look up to, you know? Now that it's getting popularized in the US, you know, this whole leg lock squad, John Danaher squad, they popularized knowledge, and then BJJ fanatics came out and stuff. You're right, people lost their attachment to their masters and started becoming attached to the techniques. What we are happening now is we're no longer looking up to a human being as a role model of the belt system. We are looking at a technique, at skill levels, and how many taps you get. But what happened to being the guy that always shows up? What happened to being the guy that always supports the team? That you can be good at that, just like you can be good at De La Riva. You can be good at being the guy that inspires everybody to train because you don't miss a single fucking day of class.
No, of course. That guy deserves to be promoted maybe more than the guy who show up in the gym with like so many gold medals.
Yes.
You know, like I want people like that, because I see some people saying like, oh, not all the black belts should be good people. I agree to disagree because we know that nobody's perfect.
Yep.
You know, like out of 10 black belts, one won't be a nice guy. But I will do my best to make that guy be a nice guy.
Yeah.
It's my job. I'll try my best.
Right.
You know, like, but some people, they just don't want to be. They just, as you say, like they're going for, oh, I need to know as much technique as I can. But you cannot perform any of those.
Yes.
So how good are you on those things that you know 2,000 techniques? You know 2,000 different black belts, but you cannot perform anything that you've been watching.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then why don't you? Because I really believe that all the answers for your questions are all next to you inside your school with your teammates. Don't look at me as a godfather or whatever. Don't put me up there. I want to be blending in with you guys.
Cool.
As I'm asking questions, I saw Renzo Gracie once said, I've seen somewhere, I just remember this since I was blue belt, that Renzo was preparing himself for a fight, and then he was struggling to escape from some technique, I don't remember exactly. And then a white belt said, oh, can I say something? Why if you just go to the left side? And then Renzo went to the left, and it's like, whoa. And then he went to the fight, and that white belt T helped him to escape from the trouble.
Yes.
So everybody can help you. I
Very
ask
true.
black belts I ask blue belts to help me. I ask purple belts. So sometimes I don't. There was a time that I was having problem with lasso guard. I teach them lasso guard so I could practice on them.
Nice.
You know? So and then, but right now I feel that I've been talking to some people about it, that I've been missing these kind of things. The jiu-jitsu. I've been watching some army military videos where I missed that discipline.
Yes.
Where, bro, just sit down.
Hmm.
You know, that's why sometimes I miss my first professor where he just, hey, it's 1,000 hip escapes.
Yeah.
But, oh, you don't want, get out of here.
Yes.
You know, that's not for you. You find someone else, something else for you to do.
Yeah. The
But
tough
right
love.
nowadays, like, in order to don't lose your job,
Hmm.
you really have to take care of some people.
That's
You
the
know, like some
commercial
black
side.
belts,
Yes.
man. I cannot lose. I cannot talk like that to a customer.
Yes.
I have to keep them, otherwise the gym will fail and stuff like
Of
that.
course.
I
Of
see a lot
course.
of things going there. You know? So with my team, they are very supportive.
Yeah.
You know, like, but I really have to be careful to don't. I don't like to hurt people's feelings.
Of course not.
You know,
Of
sometimes.
course. You're a
But I
professional.
try to show. I try to say, hey, try this way, try this way, try. But then it's like it's my
Understood.
word
Yeah.
against the world champion word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people don't see that much anymore. If I say, let's say,
Yeah.
I love look chokes. If I say look choke is good, but Roger Gracie says look choke is bad, of course people will trust Roger Gracie. Who am I?
Okay.
This is happening. This is happening nowadays. As you say, like people seek knowledge.
I think there's many layers to what you just presented in what you're saying, but the one that I think resounds the most and people need to adopt into their mindset. This applies to other things. You have the saying, if you're not happy where you are, then you can't. If you can't find happiness where you are, then you won't find it where you're going.
No.
And I think we could say if you can't find jiu-jitsu where you are, then you're not going to find it where you're going. It's the same thing. Jiu-jitsu is everywhere. It's in your day-to-day
Yeah.
life. It's on the mats.
Yeah.
The techniques, the mindset of jiu-jitsu. Renzo Gracie is a great example that you gave, because I was watching another video of him where he's talking about knee on belly, how it was such a difficult position for him. And then he hated it. And he would come up with these complicated ways that always exposed his arm, exposed his neck, and all of these things. He's like, but then it just came across me. Keep your arm tight, no arm bar. Protect your neck so that you don't get choked. Bump his ass with your knee. And then 9 times out of 10, he gets to the back. Such a like, you don't need to go to Roger Gracie. You don't need to. You just have to have the mind to try. And you have to have the community willing to do that with you. As long as you
No,
create
and
that,
also like
that's it.
maybe you are a specialist in De La Riva.
Yeah.
You are a specialist in De La Riva, and you are right next to me.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go to Google or
Yes.
YouTube to
Yes.
research De La Riva. But I have my teammate who's really good at De La Riva. Why don't you ask him?
Yeah.
I do that because when I have some students that are really good at De La Riva, and I was having trouble to pass their guard. I was like, what? 2 blue belts.
Yep.
I was like, man, these guys are really getting good. Man, I was just training with them. Like, now I'm gonna train with you guys. Let's see. So I was giving them my leg, get me in De La Riva.
Sure.
I didn't have to go to Google or YouTube to research how to pass De La Riva. No, I have 2 good guys that plays De La Riva. I want to learn on them.
Nice.
You know, like,
Nice.
come on, let's see. That's how we used to do. That's how things work.
And the argument for anybody listening right now that thinking, that doesn't really apply. You need a black belt De La Riva. Bruno has won gold in competitions out of training with these blue and white belts, right? You've gone to the high levels against these black belts and you've performed well, not training around black belts all day. Like most of these guys, GF team and all of these, they're training with killers every day, right? You're training with enthusiasts, some of them competitors, that train commercially in a gym, and you are that good, right?
No, they work really hard to go for the competition. I know how hard it is for my students to go to a competition. They have to take leave from their job to go and compete.
Commitment. Yeah.
You know, like my brown belt, the girls, some of my purple belts, they all have their work. We don't have professionals like in jiu-jitsu. My jiu-jitsu team, there's no professional.
Yeah.
The professional is me, who teach 5 times a day.
Yes.
You know, like who teach jiu-jitsu 5 times a day, but I don't train jiu-jitsu 5 times a day. So they really work hard. They train hard with me. They train hard. They never complain about my class being so hard. Because I'm trying to be I'm balancing things. I'm trying to be like my first professor, like my second professor. You know, it's like I like the way it was tough,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to be kind as Buddha is.
You're your
You
own
know,
person.
like to them.
Yes.
Yeah, and then so I try to balance this kind of thing and being myself and learning from the way I learn and try to share with them.
Mm.
And they all go through the same thing. We have an open mat here that all the gyms around, they are coming to the open mat every Saturday, 10 a.m.
Mm.
We just roll hard for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting like tougher and tougher because like the other black
The
belts,
levels.
the brown belts, yeah, they are coming to train with us.
Nice.
You know, because we're growing. But you're talking about like, okay, I'm black belt inside the mat, outside the mat. You're not. I am black belt in and out.
I like that.
I like to say that to people. I am black belt in and out because you don't know how far it took for me, how hard it was for me to get to where I am, to tie that belt on my waist.
Yeah.
So people, when they say, I even say that I'm black belt twice.
Yeah.
You know, I'm black twice.
Yeah.
You know, it's my skin and my belt on my waist. So
I like that.
I'm black in and out. Yeah,
Man,
I'm black in and out, man.
I love your attitude. You're an example to us all of what's possible when you put
Thank
your
you
heart
so
in
much.
jiu-jitsu. I want to sort of tie things all together in another post that you did. It was one of your talks again on YouTube. And you said such a huge point that so many people overlook. You said, love yourself. It was within the video that you said, love yourself. And the way you said it explains it all, which is when you love yourself and you truly think about that, you take actions that are better for you. When you don't love yourself, when you think, I'm not happy with how I am today, I want to be a champion, I want to be this, I want to be that, you start taking actions that hurt you. They'll damage your knees, damage your shoulder, damage your neck. You'll start taking actions that don't fit your body type, learning jiu-jitsu games that don't match your game. But when you love yourself, you're like, man, I'm okay with how I am. I love myself and I want to just improve what I love about myself. And then you start picking the things that are good for you because they pair with you well. I love how you said that, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's because I see some people, they work really hard. I have students, I get this experience also from my students.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they go to a tournament, but man, some of them, they work from 9 to 7 p.m. and then they come late to train and they still train really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, they come in the morning, work through the whole day, come late in the evening to train some more. And then they still go to the competition. And then when they lose, they hate themselves. And they say, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm quitting. This is not for me." Thoughts that I have in the past.
Right.
You know, and then I come up to them and say, "Hey, it's not like this. You are good enough. Don't say that you're not good. Maybe that wasn't your day.
Yes.
Maybe that person that you fought against, maybe like they have the opportunity to train more than you did.
Yes.
Or maybe just the game didn't match.
Yes.
You know, like maybe that was not your day. It was not, maybe like the universe say, okay, today you're not gonna win.
Right.
You need that loss to grow up,
Absolutely.
to get something bigger in the future. Yeah, so you just have to love yourself, appreciate what people are doing to you, for you, shake everybody's hand, thank them for the when they say congratulations to you.
Enjoy the whole experience.
That's it. Make friends. Man, you see, like how many friends you made? You came to Japan.
Yeah.
You travel. We ate nice food. We had a nice time. We laughed a lot.
Exactly.
But then I lost the medal.
Yeah.
Come on, there's a lot of things around that. You don't have to just hammer yourself.
You had so many wins before that loss.
Wow, so many. And then we don't see that because we only see that 5 minutes on the mat.
Exactly.
That wasn't
the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. So that's why you really have to love yourself to enjoy more of what you're doing with the people around you, you know, because there's such nice people around you.
Amazing.
Man, the moment is so great, you know.
Yeah. Life is beautiful. It's a gift if you look at it, if you unwrap it, and it's a curse if you look at it, right? It's
life is good. We are the ones who make it difficult.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, Bruno, I appreciate you spending this time. I think, man, I'm excited for people to listen to this. And if you're listening to this after this live recording, then you're welcome because I'm just as excited as you. This has been really a pleasure talking to you. You're a wonderful person, man. Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you so much, Zay. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Amadou, for getting me in touch. You know, like, yeah, man, I really like to because I was nervous because after my interview for BJJ Heroes was before the EBI. This is one of the biggest podcasts that I've been talking to, and then I was like, oh my god, like for the whole day I've been thinking, oh my God, how's it gonna be? How should I do this? How should I say? How should I talk? How should I dress? I was like, man, should I shave?
That's
You know,
how
my
it
hair
is,
doesn't
right?
look nice.
But you
My
know,
hair, yeah, my hair doesn't look.
Bruno, the beauty of this flat platform, and I think you can testify to this, is this podcast environment and what we're doing now. It's just two friends, his and you. We're just sitting down talking on the mats, right? And that's when
Yeah.
we really get the real. Because so many people, they do this like big studio lights, wear a tie and everything, and you don't get the real message. You know, today I feel like we got the real message to people, and I'm
Yeah,
excited
and then
about this.
probably you notice something that I'm a kind of guy who talks a lot, so I need someone to stop me. Otherwise, I keep going. You know, like in class, sometimes it takes me 20 minutes to show a technique
I see.
because I try to explain in a way that I didn't learn,
Right.
but now I know.
You give all
So
the
I want to make
details.
sure that yeah. And then it's like, or maybe this happened to me, and sometimes
I
I make
get you.
fun of everybody in class, and sometimes like, okay, so grab the call with the right hand.
Right.
Hey, are you awake? Hey,
Yeah.
wake up, bro! I'm watching you, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so now and then
That's
everybody
why
laugh
people
at that
love you.
guy. Yeah, and then everybody laugh at that guy. Sometimes some of them they make fun of me, because I create that friendship environment
You do.
where
You definitely do.
I'm not the untouchable black belt, right?
Yes. Yes.
If I made a mistake, if I make it, like you see, like some of my students, they make fun of me on Instagram,
Right.
on the stories, they tag me or something. But then it's like, oh man, I'm gonna beat you when I'm coming back to the gym. You know, like one of them say like, Professor, if I pass your guard, you're gonna do 10 burpees. And
Right.
then I say, bro, nobody can pass my guard. It's like, okay, so if I pass your guard, each time I pass is 10 burpees. Great, okay, but you're gonna do 10 burpees for each tap. Each time I tap you also. You know?
That's the relationship that makes bonds between students and masters. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not everybody has to be a certain way. It's just the whole point is to shine a light on the incredible people we have in our region and in our community of jiu-jitsu, and you are definitely one of them, sir. So tell me something. How can people discover you? How can people connect with you? Where are you most active on social
Guys,
media?
yeah, on Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram is
Yeah.
Bruninho BJJ. You can go on Instagram, you can follow me there, and then I
Uh,
message you for sure. It's Bruninho BJJ.
I'll add it. It's already below the video on YouTube. If you guys click on the description, you can find him on Instagram. Be sure to follow him on YouTube as well, not just Instagram. He puts out very nice content, and in time, if you're in lockdown, there's some crazy drills for you guys to try. But there's also very
And I'll be
inspirational
sure.
talks.
I'll be sure that I post more often on my YouTube channel.
Please do,
Thank you
please
so
do.
much for the talk.
I'm personally enjoying it, man. So really, do post more of your talks. You are an inspiration to us all. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Bruno. I
so much.
appreciate you,
I
buddy.
really appreciate for the
Habib,
opportunity.
Habib, man, it's my pleasure. Everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this talk. It was really something else. Thank you on YouTube to hanging out. Cassandra, thank you. Dareen, thank you. Harib, Marco, I see all you guys out there. Thank you so much for your chats.